In the late summer of 1590, a man stepped onto the shore of a small island off the coast of what is now North Carolina. He had been gone for 3 years. War, storms, and delay had kept him away far longer than planned. As his boat scraped against the sand, he expected voices. He expected smoke from cooking fires. He expected life. Instead, the settlement stood empty. Houses were still standing. Tools lay where they had been left. No bodies were found. No signs of battle marked the ground. Only a single word had been carved into a wooden post. It read, CROATOAN. The story of Roanoke began several years earlier, during England's first attempts to establish a permanent colony in the New World. In 1587, a group of 115 men, women, and children arrived on Roanoke Island. They were not soldiers or explorers alone. They were families, craftspeople, and laborers sent to build a lasting settlement. Their governor was John White. The land was unfamiliar. Supplies were limited. Relations with local indigenous peoples were tense, though not openly hostile. Before long, the colonists faced shortages. White was persuaded to return to England to gather food, tools, and reinforcements. He left behind his daughter, Eleanor, and his granddaughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the Americas. He intended to return within months. History intervened. England became locked in conflict with Spain. Ships were seized for war. Travel across the Atlantic was delayed again and again. By the time White finally secured passage back, 3 years had passed. When he arrived at Roanoke in August of 1590, the settlement was silent. The fort had been dismantled. Buildings were orderly, not destroyed. There were no signs of violence. White searched desperately for clues. Before he left, he had agreed upon a simple plan with the colonists. If they were forced to abandon the settlement, they would carve the name of their destination into a tree or post. If they were in danger, they would add a cross. There was no cross, only the word CROATOAN carved cleanly. CROATOAN referred to a nearby island and to a local tribe with whom the colonists had friendly relations. White prepared to search there, but storms rose suddenly. Ships were damaged. Supplies ran low. Reluctantly, White was forced to abandon the search and return to England. He never saw his family again. Over the years, attempts were made to find the missing colonists. None succeeded. No mass grave was discovered. No confirmed survivors were found living among nearby tribes. Artifacts surfaced occasionally, an English tool, a fragment of pottery, but nothing definitive. Theories multiplied quietly. Some believed the colonists integrated with local indigenous communities, slowly dissolving into the population. Others suggested disease, famine, or relocation inland. A few imagined darker ends. But no single explanation fit every detail. What remains striking is what was not found. No weapons scattered, no burned buildings, no signs of panic. The settlement appeared to have been deliberately abandoned, not fled in terror. The colonists had time. They had intention. They left together. Virginia Dare would have been 3 years old when her grandfather returned. No record of her life exists beyond her birth. She became a symbol of absence, of beginnings without endings. Roanoke faded from maps, but not from memory. It became known as the Lost Colony, not because it vanished in chaos, but because it vanished quietly. A community dissolved without leaving a clear trace of how or why. The land reclaimed the structures. The forest closed in. Wind erased footprints. Centuries later, the word CROATOAN remains. Not as an answer, but as a reminder. Sometimes history does not end with fire or blood. Sometimes it ends with people walking away, carrying their lives into places unrecorded, leaving behind walls, leaving behind names, leaving behind questions. The island still sits beneath open sky. Tides rise and fall as they always have. And the silence that greeted John White still lingers. Not loud, not accusing, just present, waiting.